Man, we're talking basketball in July, dog. Who would have thought? Who
Right.
would have thought? How you guys doing today, man?
I'm amazing. What's going on, fellas?
Nothing much, man. How you doing, Kaiser?
Doing good. I just had 10 days off work. This is my last day off, so I had that dread. I gotta go back to work.
Man, like I tell my wife, man, if I could retire now,
I
look, man, I don't care how much I make. I moved to South Carolina in the country and live down there. It'd be fine. Oh man, oh man, oh man. So how was your week, man?
Man, busy, man. I am in the process of trying to do a mini remodel for the house. So imagine how that's gonna go, man. I'm tired as hell, man. But
okay, Jamal,
yeah, I know, right? But man, yeah. Just trying to get it right, man. Trying to get it right so I can build my multi-entertainment setup in the living room so I can get back to watching sports, man. That's what's really important.
Gotcha. Speaking on building, maybe the Hornets are building something recently. Despite
that's not what the Facebook group told me. So
yeah. Despite the naysayers, Miles Bridges and PJ Washington were chosen to be part of the select team, and people tried to downplay it. And can you tell me how important this is?
Kaza, take this one first, bro.
Yeah. So all we heard from fans for like forever is how the Hornets never develop anyone, how the Hornets have no relevance, they're the laughing stock of the league, all these things that really weren't true, but you could make a case for. The fact that the NBA chose Miles Bridges and PJ Washington to be on the select team, which is, in my opinion, a pretty prestigious accomplishment considering where those guys are in their career. It shows that the Hornets are not as irrelevant as people think. I think PJ and Miles opened a lot of eyes last season, especially Miles' run at the end of the season. Plus, we forget Miles was the Rising Stars MVP, and he was that in spectacular fashion.
Kaiser. 20 games at the end of the season doesn't matter.
Look,
you didn't see improvement from day 1 to day 21 to day 41 to day 81. It doesn't matter.
People don't know what development means. You have to develop.
What's that word?
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird, but I feel like this is a good look for Charlotte. No matter how you slice it, LaMelo Ball wasn't on the team, obviously, because I think he wants to heal that wrist up, but he would have been on the team as well. And some people are saying, well, look at the other people that are on that team. Well, the thing is the select team is normally up and coming rising stars. So there's not going to be like, well, Damian Lillard's on the main team, but there's not going to be like Steph Curry on the select team. I think it shows that we have pieces that have relevance in the league. That it's as simple as that. There are a lot of teams that would love to have Miles Bridges or PJ Washington. And also, you cannot downplay the experience you're going to get from being on the select team.
Right.
You're on scrimmages and practices. The main team, how often do you get to practice every day with guys like Kevin Durant? I think it's a great thing, and fans should be really proud of our guys for being selected, even though they didn't get, COVID protocol came down and they had to miss some activities, but good on those guys.
Yeah, man. Kaza stole a lot of my thunder, man. But let me point out how big of a deal USA basketball has really become in the last 15 years, so to speak. I don't know if you guys remember that time. I hate to bring up bad stuff, but remember that point in time when USA basketball was kind of struggling. We had a loaded, talented team with Allen Iverson and Jermaine O'Neal and all these great players, but we were struggling overseas. Yes.
We're struggling? Yeah. You realize we lost to Nigeria.
Carry on. That is foreshadowing. However, now my point is, since that time, there has been a lot that has been put into USA basketball, and the selection process has gotten a lot more intense since then. So to have two of our guys, PJ Washington and Miles Bridges, is a pretty big deal. And it's a pretty big deal seeing the fact that a lot of our fans don't really appreciate what we have, and a lot of our fans want to turn over half the damn roster every season. Let me remind people that PJ Washington was a second all-rookie team. Let me remind people once again that Miles Bridges, his ascension and his development was well documented, and he showed his stuff in the last 20 games of last season. And yes, it matters. But to more so Kaz's point, those guys practicing against the Kevin Durant's and the Dame Lillards and Bam Adebayos every week, that's going to do nothing but help that development. And it's a good thing for the Hornets team going forward, man. So it's a positive thing, man. I love it.
And I want to add perspective. Like, Miles Bridges was almost 50-40-90. You know how many people in the 50-40-90 club?
There's not much, man.
Not many.
Not many. And people will say, well, he didn't shoot a whole lot. Okay, fair point. But he did in the last 20 games of the season. And his efficiency actually went up. It actually went up the more playing time that he got. A lot of people either don't know or don't realize Miles Bridges spends a lot of time in the offseason playing basketball. Right. And a lot of guys don't. But if you look at the guys in the NBA who are really good, the greats, you see these videos of them spending a lot of time in the offseason playing pickup games in basketball. And that's what Miles Bridges does. So this being on the select team is an extension of that for him, except now he gets to play offseason basketball against, the best players in the league. I don't see how anyone could think this is a bad thing unless, we got secret haters in our fan base.
Right.
That's cool.
And then, look at the other young talent on the team. You look at guys like Emmanuel Quickly, and then Anthony Edwards is on the team. Like, come on, man. I mean, if those guys, if we're looking at this in a vacuum, and you're looking at a talent like Anthony Edwards, why? If you're a Hornets fan, you say to yourself, like, man, these two guys are on the same team with this other young developing talent. So, what are we really complaining about? I don't. Well, Miles Bridges, there will always be people on every team that will constantly get compared to who the team should have picked. Right.
Miles Bridges, unfortunately, as long as he's a Charlotte Hornet, will forever get compared to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander
and Michael Porter Jr.
He'll never be able to escape that because those are two guys that fans really wanted, and especially since those guys have shown that they have possibly developed faster than Miles Bridges, although MPJ, if you want to look at games played, if you want to talk about a 20-game sample size, Michael Porter Jr. is your guy because that's about all he has maybe for his entire career. So, do I tell lies? No. So, that's the problem with Miles Bridges. He'll never – it's the Cody Zeller effect. I know Zeller was picked a lot higher, but people are always going to say, look who we could have had. But Miles Bridges clearly is a talent. I just don't see how he gets I don't see how he's not a lot of people's favorite Hornet, honestly.
It's just not the sexy pick. Guys. I'm gonna throw out some names for you. Can you tell me a name that's missing? LaMelo Ball, Justin Herbert, Crystal Dangerfield, Chase Young. Is Anthony Edwards missing? I'm just joking. So, LaMelo Ball won the Breakthrough Athlete of the Year award at the ESPYs last night. His award was presented by Charlotte native, the baby, Mr. Kirk. So, guys, man, like I didn't watch it live, but did you guys watch it live and see it?
I did not watch it live. I didn't even know it was on, to tell you the honest to God truth, man. But when I saw the clip floating around on social media, I was like, how cool is this for the city of Charlotte, man? Let me be clear. I don't really give a damn about an ESPY award. I'm being honest, man. It's not like some prestigious award, but at the same time, man, anything that raises the profile of this city, anything that raises the profile of the Charlotte Hornets, I'm with it, man. And you saw LaMelo in all of his youth and coolness, and I hate this word, and all his swag. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So all this is just a reflection of our community and the Charlotte Hornets, man. It was a really, really cool thing. It's something that raises our profile, man. So it was good to see, bro.
Yeah, the crowd just cheering when he walked out. Like, not for getting the award, just because LaMelo Ball, remember, he's got 6 million Instagram followers. This is fun, but good for the city of Charlotte. As far as the Anthony Edwards comparisons, the thing with Anthony Edwards is I think everyone knew Anthony Edwards was going to be a good scorer in the league. I don't think there was any doubt about that. That's why I actually wanted the Hornets to draft him, because we need a scorer, and that guy can score. Remember, people were iffy on LaMelo Ball. Nobody thought.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Nobody thought he would have the impact that he ended up having on the entire league, and thus he deserved to win breakthrough athlete, because I really think he did that. He broke through and won the
let me tackle that real quick, because I'm glad you mentioned that, man. Because again, I don't want to make the ESPYs more prestigious than what it is, but you may have some people out there who's like, how can a rookie be a breakthrough athlete? Like, how is that possible? It's his first year. What is he really breaking through? You know what I mean? But I think to your point, I mean, we have a Charlotte Hornet on the national stage. If that ain't a breakthrough, I don't know what the hell is. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's it.
Yo, guys, I don't know if you caught this. I looked at the YouTube for it, and the baby a real one. Look, listen, he said, is this for the foe? Play your whole career in the city. He said,
"Thank you, baby. Thank you, the baby. Thank you, sir."
Guy, like nobody caught that,
right?
And LaMelo didn't say nothing. He didn't say nothing contrary to that. So pay attention to it.
Right.
Put the right pieces around this kid. Put the right pieces around him.
To the fans, LaMelo Ball is here at a minimum for 5 more years. At a minimum. The rookie contracts, whether you love them or hate them in the NBA, they are designed so that teams can keep their talent. The Hornets hold all the cards in LaMelo Ball's future and whether or not he leaves the team. If eventually he gets so good that he can pull a James Harden and force him his way out, that's one thing. But contractually speaking, at the end of his rookie contract, we still have the team option in 2 restricted free agency seasons. One with a qualifying offer and a second one without a qualifying offer. That all of that in total is 7 seasons, not including this past season. So it's going to be a long time. All these people that want LaMelo Ball go to LA or play with his bro, whatever, y'all, it's not happening.
It's not happening anytime soon. Let me say my parting shot for this particular topic, man. Look, Michael Jordan has been much maligned as an owner and as a so-called quote unquote executive. Michael Jordan ain't stupid, y'all. Okay, the Hornets will do everything in their power to make this kid happy and to build a proper team around him. So we just got to sit back, have a little bit of faith, and see what happens, man. But like you said, he's here at least for 5 more years at least.
Thank you. And guess what? A disclaimer. So Charlotte Hornets fans, we come up with stupid trades every week.
Trade half the team for Cade Cunningham.
No. Listen. Don't get mad when other teams come up with stupid trades to poach your players. We do the same thing.
Pretty much.
And I'm going to move on.
So guys, Terry Rozier for 2 lottery picks. Yep. Let's go. All right, let's move on, man.
All right, guys. So, man, NBA Finals resumes tonight. Phoenix is up 2-0. Giannis had a monster game, 42, 12, and 3 blocks. Do you foresee Milwaukee at least taking the game in Milwaukee the next 2 games?
Yeah, but I think ultimately they'll lose the series. Giannis is figuring or seeing when LeBron had to go through all those years carrying his team through the Eastern Conference and then coming up against a Western Conference team in the finals. Having said that, Phoenix did what they were supposed to do. You win your first 2 games at home, right?
Right.
So if Milwaukee wins their games at home, then it's an even series. Now, granted, only 4 teams in history have come back from a 2-0 deficit. I know that sounds unbelievable, but it's true. And one of those teams was LeBron's Cavs in 2016, which came back from a 3-1 deficit. So it's really hard to win the finals if you don't have home court advantage. And for that, I would say that Phoenix is probably going to win the series. They looked really, really good at home. They just did. But I actually think the Bucks will tie the series up. I think they'll win the next 2 games at home.
I do too.
And it'll be even series. Best out of 3, and Phoenix will win that.
it wouldn't surprise me. I'll put it like that. But let me just say, I love being right. And let me just tell you how much I'm right and how much I love being right so far. Because the first two games, well, before this series, I said, I think Phoenix is a more complete team. I think they are the most in sync team. And from top to bottom, they are more complete. The first two games have proven that to be so. And if I'm a Milwaukee Bucks fan, I got some smoke for Drew Holiday. Because the national media has been trying to elevate this dude to some perennial all-star and basically putting it on his shoulders to win Milwaukee these games. And he's not coming up. He's coming up short, to be honest. Now, for the next two games, I will say this. I'm going to speak to you guys' point. I think Milwaukee has an easy fix. And what I mean by that, there's an easy adjustment that the Milwaukee Bucks can make to win these next two games. They got to share the ball. It's that simple. Before I say this, I absolutely hate agreeing with the guy I'm going to bring up. It pains me to agree with this guy. Kendrick Perkins, out of all the people in the world, made a great point. He said the Milwaukee Bucks are playing like the stupidest team in the league, and I cannot disagree with that. They're not sharing the ball. They're not playing the brand of basketball that we're used to seeing the Milwaukee Bucks have played throughout the season. They're not, the shot selection is terrible, but yet they're still in these games. So you figured if they make that simple adjustment, these next two games can easily go their way.
Man, I'm gonna be quite honest with you. Milwaukee doesn't have a point guard. Drew is not a point guard.
He's not a natural point guard. I agree.
They don't have anybody to control the pace and get Giannis the ball. Like a play that stands out to me was when Giannis was like sitting on the block and he had the smaller guy on him. I think it was Phil Johnson or Mikal Bridges, and Drew was just dribbling. Giannis like, give me the ball.
Pass me the ball. Right.
That like a natural point guard would have sought that matchup out and done that. And you made a good point, man. Like they were very like what was kind of troubling to me last game is they came out, make all the adjustments. The effort was there, and they were only up 3 after the first quarter. Like,
right.
It just seemed like it seems like all this effort, and you're only up 3. And Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, man, they got to show up. Like they have.
I'm gonna just run off some stats from game 2. Drew Holiday, 7 for 21, 39 minutes, 7 assists. You gotta look. Number one, I don't like my point guard shooting the ball 21 times. When I have Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, and Giannis Antetokounmpo on the same team, Chris Middleton shooting the ball 16 times, Drew Holiday shooting the ball 21 times. That's not a winning formula for basketball. I'm sorry, man. And look, if people might throw some criticism towards Chris Middleton's way, but you got to look at the point guard who's supposed to be organizing his offense to begin with. You know what I'm saying? But again, I think these are easy fixes for the Bucks to win the next 2 games. I really do.
The Bucks best. I mean, this is obvious. The best chance to win is to extend the series. Mainly, they got to test the health of Chris Paul. Chris Paul, if you take it out 7 games, Chris Paul may not play in Game 7. I mean, he'll play in Game 7, but
he might not be as effective.
He might not be 100%. That hamstring has been bothering him every playoff season for like the last 4 seasons. He's had hamstring issues, including this one. So, they can't allow Phoenix. Chris Paul is so good at, like you said, Rodney, the Bucks cannot control the pace of the game. But Chris Paul has the game under control from
like a yo-yo string, man.
0-0-0. He really knows how to control the pace. They have to get Chris Paul out of his comfort zone, because I think if you do that, then the Suns, the Suns will have a tougher time. But it's interesting. This finals is interesting because Nielsen's has reported that viewership for this final is up 10% from last season.
That can't be true.
No.
Well, but a lot of people are, saying, see, it's no one necessarily wants these big market teams. Phoenix is a big market team. Phoenix is
no. Because according to social media, Kaza, Phoenix is a small market team. Yeah. They don't have a hockey champion in the baseball team and the football. No, that can't be true.
Yeah. They don't have any of that. I mean, Phoenix is.
They don't host Super Bowls, college football playoffs, NASCAR events. None of that.
So I get it, and I think part of the reason that the viewership is up is one, last season was the bubble. Bubble basketball was only interesting to fans like fans of the NBA, and even then, most of us are kind of like,
take it or leave it.
Casual fans didn't care about the bubble. They just did. And so I think this season, the NBA is back, and that's one of the reasons for viewership. Plus, we have Phoenix, a team that was not in the playoffs last year, suddenly in the playoffs. And now you have the largest metropolitan area between Texas and California. Now they're all watching these games, rooting for Phoenix. So
I got a little bit of pushback. Last year finals was the lowest in a while. But if you look at 4 or 5 years ago, the finals were averaging 18 million viewers. And then the next year dropped to 17 million. And this year we're celebrating 8 million. So in a span of 5 years, they lost 10 million viewers. But I'm going to give a caveat. There are less TVs on this time of year because people are out doing things, and then you got the pandemic. So it's a victory, but we got to put it in perspective.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think it's the Steph Curry effect. I'm going to be honest with you. Steph Curry, by the way, won an ESPY for best NBA player, which was kind of weird considering he didn't win the MVP. But I don't think he should have won the NBA MVP. But the reason Steph Curry is as popular as he ever was and is because he's probably the most relatable NBA player to average dudes. Most guys,
and let me cut you off real quick. And do not discount the effect of kids. Kids love Steph Curry.
Exactly, kids love Steph Curry because a lot of kids, I think, realize that, hey, I'm not going to be 6'9", 250 pounds.
Right.
I might be 6'2" and 185 and can shoot the ball well. I mean, and plus you look at what Trae Young was able to do for these playoffs. People like Steph Curry. Steph Curry's not in the finals anymore. And the last 2 finals that he wasn't in, viewership is way, way down. So you can call it the LeBron James effect or whatever. I think it's the Steph Curry effect. Who in this finals are the kids rooting for?
Giannis, probably.
No, I don't think the kids care. I think if anybody, it'd be Devin Booker, to tell you the truth, man.
Devin Booker, but even him, he's not. I mean,
he's not popular yet.
He's gonna be a superstar, but he's not gonna be as popular. He's nothing like Steph Curry, though, or certainly not LeBron James. Giannis, because he plays in Milwaukee, I don't think they damn sure ain't room for Chris Paul. So.
We know you ain't room for Chris Paul.
So, very interesting NBA Finals, though. I think as an NBA fan, I think this is a great matchup and a great finals so far. Actually.
Yeah, I love it personally, man.
Let me ask you a question. With the viewership being what it is now, do you think the NBA does a poor job of marketing its future players?
You know what? I have an interesting answer to this question. I don't think the NBA does a bad job. I think other media outlets do a shitty job. Let me explain what I mean by that. Everybody watches Undisputed. What does Undisputed talk about every damn 30 seconds? They're talking about LeBron James and the Lakers. Even though they're not playing.
The San Antonio Spurs and the Dallas Cowboys.
Thank you. Like honestly, I haven't watched those shows in like a year and a half, 2 years. Like I can't literally take it because
I can't do it. I can't take it. But to expand on my point, man, but there are so many other social media outlets and media outlets who are, for lack of a better term, they're casual sports fans who run these outlets. So they don't know anything about the Milwaukee Bucks and the Phoenix Suns and whoever else we're talking about. You get what I'm saying? They know what content people are going to click on. They know what people are going to watch. You can always get a click. You can always get a view if you're talking about Michael Jordan versus LeBron James, or LeBron James went to go watch his son play basketball. and I don't want to belabor that point, but y'all get what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? It's not the NBA's fault. I don't know if the NBA even can do anything about other media outlets not really promoting its future stars, man.
To be fair, the NBA itself never really has done that. They have essentially.
I think they used to, but they stopped.
I mean, they relied heavily on college basketball.
Yes, absolutely.
Good point.
Yeah, they rely heavily on college basketball. That's starting to go away as players start to look towards pro leagues, and the NBA actually has done a better job of promoting G League and Summer League than they do looking at players who are coming out of college because they own those leagues, and that's a direct moneymaker for them.
Kaz, let me jump in right quick.
Yeah,
the NBA was stupid to me, and I'm not gonna say stupid. I want to say short-sighted when they did not coming into the year. You saw how many Instagram and Twitter followers LaMelo Ball had. Why did the Hornets have 2 national games?
Yeah,
people wanted to see that kid play. You should at least have 5 or 6 national TV games.
Yeah, that was.
I don't care how bad the
Hornets effect. I think that I will say one of the reasons why LaMelo raised a lot of eyebrows this season is because a lot of people didn't want the perceived circus that came with one of the Ball brothers. We saw it with Lonzo, and although I said this in our private chat, but I think Lonzo has turned out to be a really good NBA player.
Yeah, I agree.
But there was no way he was worth the number 2 pick. There was no way he was. I'm sorry, he just wasn't. And so everyone remembers that media circus with LeVar Ball and the Los Angeles Lakers, and I think the NBA wanted to avoid that with LaMelo Ball. They were short-sighted, and they probably realize their mistake now, and they might do a better job of promoting players like him in the future.
Let me say this, man. Scared money don't make none. Here's what I mean by that. I think with the powers that be and the marketing guys, whoever they are, sometimes you got to kind of take a chance because LeBron James is not going to play forever. The Los Angeles Lakers are not going to be good forever. You got to start the process of trying to market your new players and your new stars.
Jamal,
and I think they're scared. Yeah.
Jamal, when the Lakers sucked, they still gave us a steady diet of the Lakers.
Which is kind of my point.
But they had Kobe.
But here's the thing. At some point, you got to step out and you got to take a chance on, I want to say, you kind of got to force feed fans new stars because if not, you're going to get stagnant. And I think that's where we are in the NBA. We're stagnant with the NBA.
The has never really, when I think about when Jordan retired, the second retirement number 2, which was the real retirement before he came back to the Wizards. Man, there was such a lull in the quality of the NBA, and the NBA didn't do anything about it. They did nothing about it. The NBA sucked from 98 till
02, 03.
Till LeBron James and Wade came into the league, and LeBron James came in with this massive amount of hype. So the NBA was like, "Ooh, problem solved." I mean, even Michael Jordan coming back really didn't help the NBA a lot at that point. Vince Carter, and I love Vince Carter, but Vince Carter was the biggest star in the NBA from that season. A lot of people
didn't win anything.
The dumbest stat maybe in professional sports history. Nike was the number 1 seller of basketball shoes during that time period from the summer of 98 all the way. I mean, they still are. Do you guys know who number 2 was? And 1.
Yeah, I remember I had a pair of Air Ones.
Largest seller of not just basketball shoes, sports apparel in general in the world.
That should tell the whole story right there, man.
Tell you everything you need to know about the NBA during that time period. That was a perfect time for the NBA to come in and do something, but they didn't. I mean, and 1 was essentially like, "Yo, we got this."
I remember, and 1 had a few. They had Kevin Garnett and a couple.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm going to say something that may be unpopular, but damn it, here I go. I think another conversation we can have about that particular era, we can talk about the Allen Iverson era. Here's what I mean by that. Listen to what you just said. And one is a hip hop brand. I don't care what anybody says. Allen Iverson represented the quote unquote hip hop era in the NBA. We all know that turned off a lot of the good old boys, so to speak. You know what I mean? That
great point.
And that's when everybody was complaining about the dress code and the Portland Trailblazers were the Jailblazers, and you know what I mean. And the Malice at the Palace happened, man. So all that stuff, man, was all that stuff were factors, so to speak.
Yeah, great point about AI. The NBA did everything they could to tamp that down, and that was the direction the league was trending in.
Yeah,
y'all, we got to have an AI question one day. we got to have an AI discussion one day. It's not going to be
absolutely
well received. It's not going to be well received.
I agree.
Look, that's why Dirk and Nash won them 3 MVPs back to back to back. Well, Dirk deserved that.
I was going to say Dirk, yeah. Nash won.
Maybe one.
Kobe should got the other one, and I'll stand on that. Yep.
Gotcha. So, so last week, some ESPN news rebroke because it broke in 2020 initially. Rachel Nichols got on her soapbox and kind of was marking her territory and didn't want Maria Taylor taking her spot on Countdown. And then there were some remarks made with LeBron James representative about the Me Too movement and the Black Lives Matter movement.
Oh God.
What do you guys think about that? Because it's so layered. I got my opinions. What do you guys think?
So objectively, Rachel Nichols has a legitimate beef with ESPN on one point.
She does.
She worked hard to get where she was as a woman in a male-dominated industry, and they just essentially took it away from her and gave it to someone else. I'm not gonna say gave it to someone else because Maria Taylor, she deserved what she got too. But if I'm Rachel Nichols, I'm kind of upset at that. I'm like, damn, I worked fucking hard to get where I am, and you got what? Welcome to the club. Damn, y'all.
Hello.
Yeah. I mean,
well, welcome to our world.
Yeah. Well, too bad. That's kind of how I look at it. I'm like, damn. Welcome to the club, Maria Taylor. It's kind of a double-edged sword for me. Actually, this is a very unpopular opinion of mine. But forced diversity is a good thing. And I know a lot of people on both sides of that fence will disagree with me. But what it does is it gets you used to seeing diversity. And it'll be a point where it won't matter if the host of whatever show is black or white or male or female. It won't matter because you got to start somewhere.
Right.
You kind of like 3 black dudes trying to break into the sports industry in the white male. Kind of like that, right?
And plus, how do we know, or how does Rachel Nichols know that she didn't get her job because she's a female? We do know that there has been a shift from networks to get more women involved into sports, and Rachel Nichols may have been a part of that. So for her to imply, well, y'all, this is just a diversity hire for you guys, is kind of disingenuous considering that she herself may have been a diversity hire. I don't want to take anything away from Maria Taylor or Rachel Nichols, but it's weird because Rachel Nichols has been in the game long enough to know that this is how it works. And for her to essentially say, oh, well, hey, yeah, they have Black Lives Matter and Me Too. Now, what else? It's like
that's a reckless statement. Now
Jemele Hill would have never got away with this at ESPN.
Absolutely not. She didn't get away with it. Let's be clear.
She said far more benign things on Twitter.
Let me tell you something. Jemele Hill was the most mistreated woman I've ever seen. Like, she took so many unnecessary stuff. I don't agree with everything, but guess what? I'm going to protect and I'm going to support Jemele Hill in a lot of stuff because she went through a lot of unnecessary things. She took some bullets, man. Bullets.
So listen, man. First of all, let me both say both of these ladies are pretty talented and they're very good at their job. I want to make that very clear. But we all know this is a classic example of when keeping it real goes wrong. And sometimes the right message can come from the wrong person. Rachel Nichols did quote. She had an accurate quote on one of her sayings. yes, ESPN was under pressure to make a diversity hire. That part is true. However, sometimes the right message can come from the wrong person. And that's just the fact. Nobody wanted to hear that from Rachel Nichols. I think if anybody else would have said that, it's not a controversy.
No.
However, that is not to say Maria Taylor didn't work her ass off to get where she's at. I remember her covering these unknown college football teams on Friday night when no one was watching. You know what I'm saying? She's definitely paid her dues to get where she's at. And like Kaza said, welcome to our world, especially with ESPN. ESPN does not give a damn about your tenure, whatever. If they feel like you are a fit for whatever they're trying to do, for whatever they're trying to accomplish, they're going to put you there. It doesn't matter. You get what I'm saying? Right. So, and Maria Taylor is in her rightful place, man. And quite honestly, she's handling this whole quote unquote controversy very well. So
now this is going to get real quick. This is going to get messy fast.
It's already messy. It's already messy.
Even because for those that aren't aware, the things that Rachel Nichols says were in a private conversation that was accidentally recorded to ESPN servers. And one of the employees,
real quick, and there is the story out there saying that she actually has a really good case for a lawsuit.
Which is probably why she hasn't been reprimanded, or ESPN has been very mum on what they're going to do about anything. In fact, Maria Taylor asked that Rachel Nichols not appear on Countdown anymore. And what ESPN did was Rachel Nichols is still on Countdown. She just doesn't appear in any segments with Maria Taylor. And a lot of people are wondering about that move, but ESPN, they don't want to get sued. Essentially, right. The employee leaked confidential information out to the public, which caused this firestorm. I also heard that employee was terminated. Whether that's right or wrong is a
She left. What ESPN does is they'll put you on assignments like in decline.
Yeah.
They kind of starve you out, and then you like, F it, I'm going somewhere else. So she left, and a black female, of course.
All right, Rachel Nichols gonna mess around, be covering the X Games. I
want to address something. Like, I know people don't like Jemele Hill because of perceived things, but to say that she didn't take bullets is a goddamn lie. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a profound lie.
Look. When she was writing in Orlando and got the job for ESPN, somebody leaked her salary. Oh, she don't deserve. Why don't she deserve that? She was one of the first black women to go to ESPN. Like, look, she took a lot of bullets. She said a lot of true stuff about Trump. She had the whole conservative base on her. She said a lot of true stuff, but when she eventually got phased out, she was on Sports Center with Michael Smith. Remember that?
Prime time.
She worked her way up legitimately and got knocked down. Like, you might not like the things she say. Like, some of the things she say are true. Some things look. I'm not going to agree 100% with everybody, but for you to hate on her, that doesn't make no sense. Look, she took
I'll even go as far to say if you hate on her, that's kind of a reflection of yourself, man. Seriously, man, because she's been nothing but genuine, articulate, authentic throughout that whole process. And this word is kind of strong, but she's kind of been a martyr for ESPN, man. You know what I mean?
Let me address this. So, black men and white supremacists of the community. Look, I don't have to agree with everybody says. I can easily say if you were celebrating Cosby getting out of jail because you perceived he was innocent, you're just as bad as her liking that comment. I'm leaving that alone.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
I think Jemele Hill. And plus, I don't think ESPN wants to. We all know what they did to Jemele Hill and Michael A. Smith, because that was her homie.
He got a straight bullet.
Yeah,
I was just about to say, I think he went down by association. I really do.
Absolutely. So, I think ESPN wants to avoid that with Maria Taylor and Rachel Nichols because, ESPN is owned by the largest media conglomerate in the history of the world, Disney.
ABC Disney.
Yeah, those decisions come from the top down. And if they say, look, we want diversity, then that's what's going to happen, regardless of the internal politics about whether or not somebody, deserves the job or not. So, all I can say to Rachel Nichols is you got to get with the times. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she'll be all right. Like someone said in the comments, she's a millionaire. Her family's in media. She'll be all right. She'll
be fine.
Go to Fox Sports and get paid. I'm not.
Look, I don't even think it'll come to that, to tell you the truth.
There's rumors that Maria Taylor, like Amazon, they're trying to start their whole sports thing. Mm-hmm. And I heard Amazon's going to try to throw a bag at her. I've heard Fox Sports.
Well, of course, now the rumblings from within ESPN are a lot of the people that work with Rachel Nichols are now shunning her. I mean, you work with black dudes every day.
Right.
You say something like that. Some people came out and like Jalen Rose has come out. That's Rachel Nichols is someone that he's worked with for over a decade, and for him to come out and be like, we're not that cool no more.
It's such a layered thing. It's like I understand she's trying to mark her territory, and to me, there's an element that may be of ageism there because she's in her 50s. Like if you want to be real about it, women get replaced by younger women every day in sports.
That's true. That's true.
Which that brings me back to my point. ESPN does not. 47.
About 50, yeah.
Well, don't get me started.
Hey, y'all seen the way Paul Pierce was looking in some of them seconds?
But to bring it back, man, that goes back to my point, man. Like if you work for ESPN, man, you have to be ready to adapt and change to any situation, man. They are going to fit you wherever they want to fit you, regardless of tenure, man. So if you don't adapt, you can probably go work for Fox News and listen to Skip Bayless talk crazy all day. So those are your choices, man. Hey, man, life ain't fair, but you just got to roll with it, man. That's it.
Okay, we're going to move on from this one.
Comment, Antonio. I heard that too.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm not in the speculation. I'm going to leave that one alone.
Ooh, boy, somebody's still shooting threes and ain't even playing in. Never mind. Go ahead, bro.
I'm going to just say this. Rachel Nichols.
The Michelle Beadle effect. Remember Michelle Beadle? There were rumors about her and Aaron Rodgers. Where's Michelle Beadle now?
Good question.
Doing something else.
Really good question.
She was rich before. Look, Diane Sawyer, Rachel Nichols. That's all I got to say.
Pretty much.
I'm going to go ahead and read this quote for you. I'm going to read this quote. I want to get your opinion. We are in the process of now working on the entertainment district around the stadium, and we'll continue to work and follow up with the strategies, the comparables, and what does it mean, Lyles said Thursday during the press conference. And then after we get that district plan done, the entertainment district plan, we'll begin to talk about how to address the stadium and how does it benefit the people of Charlotte. This was via Lyles' comments on David Tepper's new stadium. So how do you guys kind of digest that news?
So it must feel good to work with your best friend that frequently, man. It must. If Lyles and David Tepper they're best friends, right? Never mind. Anyway, my first thought was we actually had a brief conversation about this before we went on, man. And regardless of what anybody thinks, man, this is happening. This is going to happen, and I just wonder if and how this is going to affect the epicenter. If you're talking about an entertainment complex. We had one.
Look, I was literally out last night, and there is nothing in the epicenter anymore. It's like a ghost town. It's eerie. It's weird. It's nothing there. It's nothing at all.
But with that being said, again, how does this affect their plans? Because what do you do? I mean, it's not like there's just a whole bunch of space left in and around downtown. So. What are these specific plans? I guess we haven't really gotten there yet, obviously, man. But at the same time, I'm kind of excited, to tell you the truth, because we're obviously in this very weird space, in this very weird predicament post-pandemic, even though we're not really out of it yet. But you get what I'm saying. So with that being said, how does Charlotte rebound from that? And of course, being at the Panthers and the stadium situation, fans, us being at 100% capacity going into next season, how was that going to affect the rebound, so to speak? And this is all a part of the rebound or the rebuild of Charlotte. So it's just, on one hand, I'm like really excited, but on the other hand, I'm like, okay, what are y'all really up to and what are the details? And I'm ready to get to that.
Yeah. The new stadium is inevitable. The only thing I don't like about it is Tepper has repeatedly said that it will take a significant investment from the taxpayers in the city. He never puts the onus on himself as the owner to be the one to make a significant investment. NFL, you need at least $1 billion to build
$1 billion now.
And so you're probably going to have to double that. $2 billion will get you a really good stadium in the NFL. And knowing Tepper, he's not going to want anything less than the bet. He's already said he wants to host Final Fours and all kinds of stuff. So we're going to need a giant dome facility in the middle of downtown. Probably going to cost $2 billion. And he's saying he wants the taxpayers in the cities to bear the brunt of that. The problem I have with that is David Tepper is not from Charlotte. He doesn't really have any ties to here. So if he needs to just peace out, y'all, he'll do that. He cannot take the Panthers with him from what I understand about the contract he signed when he bought the team. But this is a business venture from him. If he could sell the Panthers and just make all the money back that he spent on them and then peace out, and then we're left holding the bag for a stadium that he wanted. That taxpayers are going to realize this. And I am so afraid that we end up with another Charlotte Hornets situation.
Thank you. I was thinking it, but I just didn't want to say it. But go ahead.
In which, the Hornets wanted and really needed. The old Charlotte Coliseum, capacity-wise, was great, but it didn't have enough skyboxes, so George Strait couldn't entertain his buddies. And he asked the stadium or the city for a new stadium, and they were like, no. Well, actually, they said, we'll let the people vote on it because, the city didn't want to take responsibility. And the people said no. People said, no, we don't need a new stadium. We got the one on Tybola, and the Hornets left. So I don't know if I just don't want the stress of knowing if that's going to be the same situation. If you let the taxpayers vote on a new stadium, I don't think.
Let me tell you what's going to happen. They got that money comes from the tourism fund, the tourism
hotels,
hotel tax, and everything. Right. And so they're gonna take money from that, and I think they're going to solicit state help. And the people in Raleigh, they will lean on Tepper and try to make it a give and take thing. I think it gets done, but my thing is like you have goodwill to get these things done, but you still have an affordable housing issue in Charlotte. You have inequalities, and then on top of that, the schools are not that great. And so, like, where's your true focus? And then I'm looking at it like this too, like the Hornets facilities will be 20 years old in another 2-3 years, and these stadiums have a 30-year shelf life. So you're looking at Michael Jordan in the next couple of years, about 10, 15 years, asking for a new stadium. Like, where's it coming from? Where's the money coming from? Mm-hmm. And then I look at it like this, like feasibly, I see if the Hornets want to stay in the area in the future or the Panthers, being out in different cities recently, like a lot of the stadiums are off in the suburbs somewhere. I think we're going to see that pretty soon with a stadium.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
Our brother Vince has echoed that same sentiment that the Panthers will probably build a facility near or the stadium near the border. I don't know if that works well for Charlotte though.
He bought the Piper Foundry land, so
yeah,
it's going to be in that Piper Foundry.
I think if you look at the way Charlotte is built, right? Because you look at those cities that have their stadiums out in the suburbs. They already have thriving downtown areas, and they just don't have a lot of space
right.
for stadium or parking or all that. Charlotte has the space. At least we do now. Everything essentially west of Moorhead is
still space.
Yeah, still space, and that's where they would want to build. And so I think Charlotte's got. If you put a stadium out near the border, y'all probably don't remember. some of you may remember the old Charlotte Coliseum on Tyvola. As much as people loved that Coliseum,
I hated it.
Driving out there and back, there was nothing out there. There was hella traffic. I mean, back then there was nothing on Tyvola. And they were supposed to build an entertainment and media complex out there. And
now there's a Chipotle and a Starbucks and some condos. Go figure. Right.
And
how ironic is that?
Stephen made a good point. Why did the Knights leave Fort Mill? They back uptown.
Nobody was driving all the way down there.
Nobody wanted to go drive 45 minutes to see a minor league baseball team. Now, granted, the Panthers are an NFL team, and it's a little different. But I really think for Charlotte, focusing on downtown, at least at this point in our city's timeline, is the way to go from a commerce standpoint.
And Kazi, you make a good point. People always tend to overlook infrastructure. Like, infrastructure is important. Uptown has the existing infrastructure. You got 77 right there with branches off to 85. You got a train line coming there. So you got ways to get in and out easier. You look at the 49ers playing in Santa Clara. People don't go to those games because it is hell trying to get to those games out there. You spend an hour at least in traffic trying to get in and an hour, 2 hours trying to get out. It's not worth it. I could sit at home, eat some Buffalo Wild Wings, drink some liquor and some beer, and have just a good old time watching the 49ers play.
Especially nowadays with technology, you can watch NFL games on a 100-inch 4K screen. I mean, it's like, and really
message,
surround sound. You get a great experience. Now granted, it's nothing like actually going to a game, but I think for a lot of people, the trade-off is not that bad for them to where the Panthers will always have fans and people will go to those games if you no matter where you put a stadium. But in the years in which the Panthers suck, because there's going to be for every franchise, there's going to be some bad years. Then it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to fill that stadium. You won't be able to give it away.
Which is kind of my point, and nobody wants to say this, but when the Panthers are bad, the attendance is bad along with it, and that's just the truth. I've seen it for myself. I mean, you compare the 2015 season to this season. I mean, well, this season is extraordinary to be, that's obvious, man. But when we're not winning, people are going to be like, man, I'm not going to work as hard to go to a football game. That's just that simple.
And that's why Tepper will never publicly commit to a rebuild, because
he knows that.
You're already kind of admitting defeat and losing ticket revenue, just kind of admitting that. But
right.
Guys, we transition. So let me say this. So the Jordan Brand Classic.
Don't count.
Okay. Cool.
All right, move on.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. That's an inside joke, y'all. Go ahead.
So let's make this one quick. We got about 5 minutes left. So the Jordan Brand Classic is in Charlotte now. How do you guys feel about it?
Excited. Very, very, very excited, man. I've always thought that college basketball in particular needs to have way more of a presence in Charlotte. When you think about college basketball, it's always Raleigh, Durham, UNC, Duke. I mean, for obvious reasons, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, we have the facilities, we have the downtown, we have all the bells and whistles to start hosting more major college basketball tournaments, man. This is a great thing. You have the Tar Heels, who are one of the Jordan brand teams who will be playing in this tournament, man. I am super excited about it, man. So great thing by Michael Jordan to Jumpman.
This is another good thing for the city of Charlotte and Michael Jordan that didn't get covered on ESPN. That's why I said don't count. It's an inside joke. Because if LeBron James had a LeBron James Classic,
Lord have mercy.
Wherever, oh my God, it would have been.
Shannon Sharp would have had a baby on the air if LeBron James would have had the same thing.
So I think it's a great thing, especially since CIAA is leaving. Someone says CIAA is better in Charlotte.
It was time to go.
I hate to see it go only because the event brought prominence to our city. But as far as the actual tournament,
We weren't going. We weren't like the CIAA needs fans to support their product.
Exactly.
But guess what? We were coming to support the parties,
exactly,
not the product.
The CIAA wanted to leave Charlotte because they knew that it had turned into something completely different. So they moved. So this will be a good. I don't think it'll achieve the heights that CIAA did from an standpoint, but that might be a good thing for it.
Gotcha. Let's jump into shout outs, man. You got any shout outs this week?
Guys, what you got?
I got nothing.
Okay, let me go first, man. Give a shout out to Cam Newton, man. Nice guy, big as hell. Had his cigar, his hair. And we met him in Dallas, man. Cool guy, man. Look, I can't ask for anything better, man.
How random.
And look. We parked in the parking garage. We was like, well, we just literally landed. We landed there, drop our luggage off. It was like, that's why we look so rough. We just got off the plane. And so we were like, let's go get something to eat. And so we're like, we'll go to Deep Ellum. Deep Ellum is a little nice area where all the bars and restaurants and stuff like that. We get out. Candace is like, ooh, black people eating there. So if black people eating there, I can trust their opinion. No offense to anybody. So we walk there. I'm like, this dude is big as hell. And he comes out and I see the hair. I'm like, oh, that's Cam Newton. And I'm like, I froze. And Candace is like, let's go meet him. So it wasn't for Candace, I wouldn't have a picture.
Well, there you go. Wife usually can tell you right, man. I have a shout out that Kaiser will appreciate, man. There is a rumor that EA Sports is releasing an old franchise. What could that old franchise be? The rumor is that it is probably Fight Night.
So I have some inside information on that.
Really? Would you like to share, or are you at liberty to share?
Yeah, no, because I'm not under NDA. This is what was told to me from my sources. So for those of you
go ahead, Kaiser Broussard. Go ahead.
I worked with EA on Fight Night round 4. I have a plaque here commemorating that, and Fight Night Champion. So because there's a project, it's an independent boxing game. Actually, someone just mentioned in the comments, looking pretty good, but it's almost close to vaporware because it's an independent project. And it actually has real fighters, real venues, and they spend a lot of money licensing that stuff. And it's been gaining a lot of traction. And so EA said, hold up, that's our territory. We can't have people cutting into it. So that prompted them to get the old development crew back together and make another Fight Night game based on the current UFC engine. And they've already started licensing fighters. The idea was to insert those fighters into the UFC game, so to get people interested in the new boxing game. And the plan is for EA to actually usurp this esports boxing game by releasing theirs first. So you gotta realize EA is a super huge corporation. If they see a little bit of competition, they're gonna go
capitalize off it.
Yep.
They're gonna crush it. But to me, that's a good thing. So yeah, good shout out to them. I hope they bring it back. I love the Fight Night game. So
there it is.
All right, guys, man. It's been a good day, man.
Yeah, man.
Enjoy your beautiful hot ass Sunday. It's the middle of July. Enjoy it. I'm old. I'm washed up. I'm about to go to bed. I didn't get home to 2-3 a.m. last night and went to a party. So, guys, hold it down. Peace out. Thank you for watching and supporting.
Fellas, till the next time, y'all.
Season is over. Now is short season. So get outside. Get outside.
There you go.